The Nashville street awakens as dawn paints the sky in pale gold. Shop shutters creak open, revealing the promise of a new day. The first scents of warm bread drift from the bakeries. A symphony of subtle sounds fills the air. Oldtown Nashville breathes, stirring from its slumber. Dawn breaks on Willow Street, illuminating the Morning Hearth food truck, a beacon of warmth in the cool morning air. Gentle steam rises, clouding the truck's windows, hinting at the hot coffee and fresh breakfast being prepared inside. A handwritten board displays the simple promise: Morning Hearth breakfast and coffee. The soft yellow of the truck glows warmly, inviting early risers to gather and start their day. The promise of a comforting breakfast hangs palpably in the air, a silent invitation to the weary and the hopeful. The early morning light bathes the Morning Hearth food truck as Eleanor Brooks arrives, ready to start her day. With practiced ease, Eleanor unlocks the truck's side hatch, the metallic click echoing in the quiet morning. She ties her apron, the familiar motion a comforting ritual as she prepares for the dawn's first customers. Inside the truck, she begins her meticulous morning routine, each action precise and efficient. The scent of brewing coffee and freshly baked goods starts to waft from the truck, a promise of warmth. Inside the Morning Hearth food truck, Eleanor's hands move with practiced grace, cracking eggs with a soft, rhythmic whisper. The air is thick, with the rich, invigorating aroma of freshly brewed coffee, promising a bright start to the day. The griddle hums a steady tune, its surface alive with the promise of sizzling breakfast delights. The small space is filled with the comforting sounds and smells of a morning kitchen in full swing. Each action is a practiced ritual, a symphony of breakfast preparation in a compact culinary haven. Dawn breaks as Ethan Hale, cloaked in a charcoal coat, approaches the Morning Hearth food truck. He blends seamlessly into the line, an anonymous figure amongst the early risers. His presence is unremarkable, just another face seeking warmth and sustenance. The rising sun casts long shadows, obscuring his true intentions. Sunlight bathes the side of the Morning Hearth food truck. An elderly man shuffles forward, his hands trembling slightly. Mr. Collins squints in the morning light, a gentle smile forming. He reaches the counter, anticipation etched on his weathered face. The aroma of fresh-baked goods wafts through the air. Bathed in morning light, the Morning Hearth food truck gleams, promising warmth and deliciousness. Eleanor, her smile as bright as the sun, stands ready at the service window, a beacon of cheer. Her voice rings out, a familiar greeting cutting through the morning air. "Same as always, Mr. Collins." The promise of a hearty breakfast hangs in the air, mingling with Eleanor's welcoming presence. At the Morning Hearth food truck, the aroma of fresh pastries fills the air. Ethan nervously clears his throat, his anticipation building. A murmur ripples through the line behind him, a wave of recognition. He feels a subtle shift in the atmosphere, an awareness focused on him. Sunlight glints off the polished steel of the food truck. Ethan's heart pounds with a mix of excitement and apprehension. At the Morning Hearth food truck, Eleanor expertly serves Mr. Collins with a practiced smile. Next, a college girl, lost in her phone's glow, briefly looks up as she grabs her order. A harried delivery driver rushes up, eager to grab his order and dash off. Ethan waits patiently, a hopeful look in his eyes, yet she pointedly avoids his gaze. Her deliberate avoidance hangs heavy in the air, thick with unspoken tension. Outside the Morning Hearth food truck, Eleanor looks up. Their eyes meet, a silent moment of recognition. Eleanor's voice, soft but professional, breaks the silence. "What can I get you?" she asks, her gaze steady. The morning sun casts long shadows as they stand face to face. Ethan blinks, the harsh morning sun reflecting in his weary eyes. He squints, trying to focus on the Morning Hearth food truck in front of him. A long, tired sigh escapes his lips as he leans against the truck. "Just coffee," Ethan murmurs, his voice rough with sleep. The aroma of coffee wafts from the truck, a promise of awakening. He waits, the sun casting long shadows behind him as the city wakes. Inside the food truck, Eleanor stands ready, her movements precise and efficient. She pours coffee, the dark liquid swirling into a cup, a silent promise of warmth and energy. Black coffee flows, a ritual performed with practiced ease, no questions asked, the unspoken understanding of the regulars. The aroma of strong coffee fills the air, a comforting beacon in the morning. Ethan turns, the sound of his footsteps fading as he walks away from the bustling Morning Hearth food truck. The vibrant colors of the food truck stand in stark contrast to Ethan's retreating figure. Eleanor's voice rings out, a playful yet firm declaration: first come, first served. The aroma of freshly cooked food hangs in the air, a tempting reminder of what Ethan is missing. A close-up on the food truck sign, promising warmth and deliciousness to those who arrive early. Ethan walks away from Morning Hearth, a sense of unease clouding his expression. He disappears into the bustling street, blending with the crowd as the city awakens. Anonymity washes over him, a novel sensation he finds strangely appealing. The weight of not being recognized settles, a quiet satisfaction taking root. Ethan continues his walk, the city's rhythm syncing with his newfound freedom. The sun rises on the Morning Hearth food truck, promising a new day. Ethan approaches, a determined look on his face. He walks towards the truck, his steps measured and purposeful. The truck gleams, awaiting its first customers of the day. Ethan reaches the truck, ready to begin. He pauses, taking a deep breath before starting his work. Days later, the Hearth food truck glows warmly in the morning sun. Ethan returns, his presence a silent ritual amidst the bustling morning. He orders coffee, his gaze distant, lost in unspoken thoughts. Silence hangs heavy as he waits, a solitary figure against the lively backdrop. Outside the Morning Hearth food truck, Eleanor observes Ethan. Ethan stands away from the queue, his posture reflecting a deep weariness. His gaze drifts aimlessly, as if searching for something intangible in the morning air. A palpable sense of longing emanates from him, a silent question hanging in the air. Inside the bustling Morning Hearth food truck, the aroma of fresh biscuits fills the air as Eleanor stands ready. Eleanor slides a warm, wrapped biscuit across the counter, a silent offering to the unseen customer. Her expression is thoughtful, a hint of melancholy in her eyes as she considers her words. Forgetting isn't the same as not needing, Eleanor says, her voice soft but firm in the cozy space. Morning light bathes the Hearth food truck, promising warmth. Ethan pauses, a moment of hesitation flickering across his face. He reaches out slowly, fingers brushing against the offered biscuit. A subtle shift in his expression, a silent acceptance taking root. The warmth of the biscuit contrasts with the cool morning air. Ethan's fingers now close around the biscuit, sealing the deal. Sunlight floods the scene, casting a warm glow over the Morning Hearth food truck. Ethan and Eleanor stand side by side, the scent of coffee and bacon filling the air. The scene is peaceful, the promise of a bright day ahead. A shared glance passes between them, a quiet understanding in their eyes. The Morning Hearth stands ready, promising comfort and warmth to those who gather. The Morning Hearth food truck gleams under the morning sun, chrome reflecting the promise of a fresh start. Steam rises, carrying the scent of coffee and sizzling bacon, a comforting aroma that fills the air. Ethan approaches, the aroma of breakfast drawing him in. "How's business?" Eleanor, focused and efficient, replies with a curt, "Busy," her hands moving quickly to satisfy the growing demand. Sunlight bathes the Morning Hearth truck as a line of early birds forms, drawn by the promise of coffee and breakfast. Steam curls into the crisp morning air, carrying the sense of sizzling bacon and rich, freshly brewed coffee. Ethan asks, "Too busy?" His voice barely audible above the sizzle and murmur of the growing crowd. Eleanor's reply is brief and burdened. "Yes," barely glancing up from the flurry of orders. The Morning Hearth food truck gleams under the sunlight. A young boy sits nearby, lost in his art. His brow furrows in concentration as he sketches buildings in his notebook, each line precise and deliberate. The curb becomes his studio, the bustling street fading into background noise as his imagination takes flight. Each stroke captures the essence of the architecture, a silent testament to his keen observation. The Morning Hearth food truck gleams under the rising sun, its chrome reflecting the start of a busy day. Early patrons gather, their voices mingling in anticipation around the truck. The aroma of breakfast fills the air, drawing in more customers. Eleanor observes the growing crowd, a hint of admiration in her eyes. Crowds get loud for him. Ethan nods, absorbing the energy of the scene with a quiet understanding. I understand. The food truck becomes a vibrant hub, buzzing with morning activity and the promise of a good meal. The afternoon sky over Oldtown Nashville splits open. Rain pours down in thick, heavy sheets. Streets glisten as the downpour intensifies. Buildings blur behind curtains of water. At the Morning Hearth food truck, Eleanor grapples with the stubborn awning, her breath misting in the cold air. Her fingers slip on the slick, cold metal, a testament to the early morning chill. A close-up on Eleanor's face reveals her determination, etched against the soft morning light. With a final surge, Eleanor pulls the awning down, the truck now ready for the day's first customers. The Morning Hearth sign gleams, promising warmth and comfort against the backdrop of a chilly morning. The Morning Hearth food truck gleams, promising warmth and hearty fare as the day begins. Ethan steps forward, a determined set to his jaw as he prepares for the day's work. He holds the frame steady, a picture of focus and dedication amidst the early morning calm. A silent understanding passes between the team, a shared commitment to their craft. The food truck awaits its first customers, ready to serve up delicious beginnings. The storm wanes, a fragile sunlight piercing through the clouds, spotlighting the Morning Hearth food truck. Eleanor stands silhouetted against the truck, her expression a mix of curiosity and challenge. The truck gleams, reflecting the tentative sunlight, a beacon against the retreating storm. Eleanor's voice cuts through the damp air, a direct question hanging in the balance. So, you always show up when the sun does. Why? She asks, her eyes searching for an answer. The scene holds its breath, awaiting a reply as the sunlight strengthens, illuminating the space. Rain-slicked streets reflect the vibrant neon glow of the Morning Hearth food truck, casting a surreal light on the scene. Ethan stands silhouetted against the wet pavement, his gaze lost in the shimmering reflections. A close-up on Ethan's face reveals a hint of melancholy amidst the colorful urban backdrop. The camera focuses on the glistening raindrops on the street, each a tiny mirror to the city's soul. Ethan's voice cuts through the ambient noise. Because years ago, I didn't think I'd see many more mornings. The neon light flickers, mirroring the uncertainty and resilience in Ethan's reflective expression. The Morning Hearth food truck gleams as the sun rises, casting a hopeful light on a new day. Ethan stands silhouetted against the truck, a moment of reflection etched on his face. He pauses, gathering the threads of a story woven with hardship and resilience. I was sitting outside a shelter once, Ethan begins, his voice tinged with memory. No money, no plan, he continues, each word a stark reminder of a difficult past. Just a bench and a head full of regret, Ethan concludes, his gaze distant with remembered pain. The food truck gleams under the early morning sun as steam curls from its open window, promising warmth. Ethan stands by the truck, the scent of brewing coffee failing to lift the weight from his shoulders. His mind drifts back, a memory surfacing like a half-forgotten dream. A wistful smile touches his lips as he recalls a simple act of kindness. There was a girl, he muses. She gave me half a sandwich and a napkin. At the Morning Hearth food truck, Eleanor pauses, a nervous swallow betraying her inner turmoil. The aroma of coffee and pastries hangs in the air, a stark contrast to the frantic thudding of her heart. She steels herself, the colorful food truck a backdrop to her moment of decision. Each breath is a struggle as she prepares to face whatever lies ahead. At the Morning Hearth food truck, Ethan gazes into her eyes, a subtle promise in his gentle expression. His eyes reflect earnest hope. Don't forget, Ethan encourages. You still have a future. A black SUV bursts onto the vibrant Oldtown Nashville street, its arrival a stark contrast to the cheerful scene. The SUV screeches, halting abruptly near a brightly colored food truck, the scent of hot dogs thick in the air. Country music drifts through the scene, a lively backdrop to the sudden tension created by the vehicle's arrival. The too close parking hints at urgency, a discordant note in the otherwise festive atmosphere. A blinding camera flash illuminates the food truck. The aroma of coffee and sizzling bacon fills the air. Under the morning sun, the food truck gleams invitingly. A voice shouts, "Ethan," cutting through the morning bustle. The Morning Hearth food truck gleams, an oasis of warmth amidst the urban sprawl. Phones ignite with breaking news, their screens flashing headlines about a billionaire CEO. "Billionaire CEO spotted at local food truck," screams a headline, the words amplified across the digital landscape. The food truck becomes an impromptu stage for the unfolding drama. The air crackles with anticipation as ordinary moments collide with extraordinary attention. Whispers turn into murmurs, a symphony of speculation building around the unassuming food truck. A crowd gathers around the Morning Hearth food truck, buzzing with anticipation. Whispers ripple through the crowd, fueled by curiosity and excitement. Smartphones capture the scene, each flash a beacon of modern fascination. Faces reflect a blend of wonder and eagerness as they await the unknown. The Morning Hearth becomes a focal point, drawing in onlookers with its mysterious allure. Outside the Morning Hearth food truck, Eleanor's intense gaze is fixed on Ethan, ignoring the cameras. Her face is a mask of hurt and disbelief. Eleanor speaks softly, her voice trembling slightly with emotion. "You didn't tell me," she says quietly, the accusation hanging heavy in the morning air. The morning sun paints long shadows around the Hearth food truck, where Ethan stands, a solitary figure. He gazes at the truck, a silent yearning etched on his face. The metal of the truck gleams, reflecting the promise of a new day and a fresh start. Ethan shifts, his hands tucked into his pockets, a picture of quiet contemplation. He breathes deeply, gathering his thoughts before the day begins. "I wanted to be someone else here. Just a man," Ethan whispers, a trace of vulnerability in his voice. Sunlight bathes the Morning Hearth food truck as Eleanor approaches, a nervous energy in her step. Her hand hesitates, fingers brushing against the cold metal of the service window's latch. A subtle tremor betrays her inner turmoil as she grips the latch, ready to open the window. The "close is early" sign hangs prominently, casting a shadow over the truck's vibrant colors. A deep breath steadies her as she prepares to face whatever lies behind the closed window. The fate of the Morning Hearth, and perhaps more, hangs in the balance of this simple action. Days later, Eleanor silently scrubs the grimy interior of the Morning Hearth food truck. Her movements are mechanical, each scrub a testament to her unspoken thoughts. The stainless steel reflects her somber face, etched with a quiet resolve. Sunlight streams in, illuminating the dust motes dancing in the air around her. The silence is heavy, broken only by the squeak of her sponge against metal. Inside the cramped Morning Hearth food truck, warmth battles the tight space, a haven on wheels. Eleanor's brother leans against the counter, a picture of casual concern etched on his face. He speaks softly, his voice a gentle murmur against the truck's quiet hum. His expression conveys a depth of understanding as he prepares to share a simple truth. A moment of quiet anticipation hangs in the air. All eyes are on Eleanor's brother. "People can be two things," he says, his words resonating with unspoken complexities. Ethan sits alone, a solitary figure against the backdrop of the city lights, twinkling far below. The glass walls of the office amplify the city's glow, turning the space into a luminous cage. The faint hum of the ventilation system underscores the silence, highlighting Ethan's isolation. He is lost in thought, his silhouette framed by the cold, impersonal architecture. The night envelops him, the city's pulse a distant rhythm to his quiet contemplation. At the Nashville Gala, Ethan strides onto the stage, bathed in the stark glow of a single spotlight. No fanfare, no slides, just Ethan, poised and self-assured, ready to command the room. He stands alone, a figure of quiet confidence amidst the expectant hush of the gala. The spotlight accentuates the determination etched on his face, a silent promise of what's to come. All eyes are on Ethan as he prepares to speak, the weight of the moment palpable in the air. Amidst the glittering lights of the Nashville Gala, Ethan stands alone, a solitary figure lost in thought. The room buzzes with celebration, yet his face reflects a deeper, unspoken conflict. A moment of stark realization washes over him in a sea of festivity and false smiles. I built an empire, and somewhere along the way, I lost myself, Ethan reflects, his voice barely audible. Ethan stands alone, the soft gala lights casting shadows around him, lost in a sea of murmuring voices. His expression is a mix of regret and revelation, a solitary figure amidst the celebration. He admits, almost to himself, I lied to someone who saw me clearly. His voice cracks with vulnerability, afraid she'd stop seeing me if she knew everything. Amidst the Nashville gala's hum, Eleanor stands at the room's edge, a silent observer with her arms crossed. The air buzzes with networking and ambition, glasses clinking like distant promises in the crowded space. On stage, a speaker holds the room's attention, but Eleanor's focus remains intensely personal and guarded. Her gaze is sharp and unwavering, hinting at a deeper purpose concealed beneath her composed exterior. Ethan stands at the microphone, spotlight illuminating his determined eyes. The gala buzzes with soft jazz, clinking glasses, and hushed conversations. He pauses, his gaze sweeping across the expectant faces in the crowd. I don't expect forgiveness, only honesty from now on, Ethan declares. Dawn breaks, painting the sky as Ethan sees Eleanor by the morning hearth truck. The crisp morning air mixes with the rich sense of brewing coffee and frying bacon. The food truck gleams as the aroma of breakfast fills the air. Eleanor stands silhouetted against the soft light, waiting. Ethan approaches, drawn in by the promise of warmth and connection. The morning hearth food truck basks in the sun, promising warmth with its aroma of coffee and fresh bread. Ethan faces Eleanor, a hopeful vulnerability in his eyes as he speaks. I don't want to buy your world. His voice softens, a heartfelt plea hanging in the air. I want to walk in it if you'll let me. Eleanor's eyes sparkle with a mix of surprise and invitation, then stir. You're in. If you enjoy stories that feel real, that remind us love and kindness still exist, consider subscribing. We share one story at a time, meant to be felt, not rushed.